when the spooky season and the Jewish high holidays combine, as they do every year because calendars, the time demands the telling of a spooky Jewish folktale. The one I'm sharing today has witches. It has body horror. It has a strangely chill little kid. And like my favorite folk and fairy tales, no matter where they come from, no matter who has told them, it is a little fucked up.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Dings! Once upon a time, in the old attic of an old house was an old chest kept locked up at all times. The chest had been there for decades, passed down with the house from generation to generation since the first rabbi who lived there. Back in his day, the rabbi had trapped 4 witches in this chest, and the family had strict rules to ensure the witches stayed there. But surely you're wondering, there are more definitive ways to deal with these witches, aren't there, Liz? Why not destroy the trunk? Well, I'll tell you why, you flickering light bulb. If the trunk was burned, the witches could escape the smoking, crumbling wood. If the trunk was sunk, it could swell and break apart, allowing the witches to swim to freedom. If the trunk was buried, the elements and the animals could make it a Swiss cheese trunk, and the witches could dig their way out. They thought of everything, these nice folks. Well, everything but one thing. The one thing you should never overlook. A very curious little boy. The kid had been hearing about this mysterious trunk and he wanted in. And can you blame him? Do you know how many of my friends and aunts and uncles' attics I have scoured for a moldy old trunk with a crumbling lock that I could open and possibly find treasure in? It is a rite of passage for all children to open a box that they are not supposed to open. So we opened it, and the 4 witches swarmed him at once. They took possession of the poor child's body. One squeezed himself into his neck, causing it to stretch like a giraffe. One nestled into his back, creating a large lump that bowed the boy over. The other 2 curled up in his belly, which became swollen and heavy. Now, normally I'm very pro-witch. I love a coven. I support women's business. But ladies, this is not the way. This is creepy. This is invasive. This is not the kind of witchcraft I, a spinster, cat-owning, glasses-wearing heathen librarian, can support. Local rabbis had no luck exorcising the witches, so the boy's father schlepped the kid all the way to the city of Brody, where the rabbi Eliyahu Gutmacher had mastered the mystical traditions of Kabbalah and Gematria, which is a Hebrew numerology. You know, if the witches weren't so weird about puppeting literal children, these people all could have just gotten along. You know, we all agree that mysticism is cool and we want to be doing it. You can call it religion. You can call it magic. We're all swimming in the same spiritual sauce. See, this is why I didn't get raptured. Anyway, the poor kid was walking around on all 4s, bleating like a sheep, and barking like a dog, because apparently the witches inside him could not agree on what kind of animal he should mimic. While the rabbi settled in for some long sessions of prayer between his other rabbinic duties. He recited psalms at random over the boy, repeating them again and again, until one day, the boy lifted his hand and cried, "A witch just slid out of my finger!" The rabbi had finally discovered the psalm that the witches couldn't stand, so he repeated the same one 3 more times, at which the boy screamed, and then he smiled. His belly shrunk up, and he declared the witches were gone. And then the boy took his dad's hand and asked the rabbi what his favorite dinosaur was, like nothing had ever happened. My God, are children of folklore resilient. The end. If you enjoyed that spooky Jewish folktale, you will love the one I included in my book, Fucked Up Fairy Tales, available wherever you get books starting October 7th. Oh, please get it. I love it. I love it so much. I retold The Finger in it. That's one I've done here on video before, but I think you'll really love what I added to it. It's a really lovely version of the story, and I just want you all to read it. Happy New Year to all who are celebrating, and happy spooky season
To everyone.